So, welcome to round 10 of the REBBL replay analysis video. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe. You'll notice that for a bit of variance, we're actually streaming this, so the chat will get involved from time to time and offer up their opinions. But other than that, we'll watch the replay and see what we think. If you're watching this in series, you'll remember that last week when we played this team, I didn't play very well. We might have won, but I didn't play very well. And if you're in chat, you want to sort of smile and wave. Maybe your parents are watching. You can say, "Hi, Mum." So, learn to play. Oh dear. So, right, while my chat just abused everyone watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. This game was a very interesting one, where Hood has got a wizard, he's also got a bribe, and we've only got 11 players. We're still at the problem of having only, basically only three not very good players, and so my guard player and an agility 5 dodge player are players that normally you would be protecting on a Dark Elf team, but they have been superseded by these 5 here. Hood is also only running 13 players, and with his inducement money he also chose to take a dirty player, induced a dirty player along with a bribe and a wizard. The difference here though is that he is running an all Beastman team, so it is strength 3 versus strength 3 for the large part. And he's got a high kick. He's also running a Mighty Blow piling on player, so against us that is a massive problem, and we could be struggling. What we do have in our arsenal, of course, is Ever the Witch Elf, who is very important because she has wrestle and leap. So what we're learning, I'm going to just pause this for a second and just talk a little bit about how, if I was the Chaos player, how we would approach this. First of all, with a wizard and being on offense, you can't win the game on offense, so he's got a choice. He can either try and grind down the field and score in turn 8, which is fine, and considering he's got way more damage output than me with these two, that's a valid tactic. Or he could choose to score relatively quickly, say turn 3, turn 4, and as long as he keeps the Beastman on guard on here and here, diagonals, it means that if I leap in, it's 2 dice uphill, not 1 dice. He could then try and turn me over using his wizard and the agility 4 sure hands player, and that could be then he could try and win the game at half time. So there are his 2 choices. What he must do though is he must keep a 4-point cage, and then he needs to try and keep a screen around at least some of it, so I can't start basing the corners of the cage and making it a very, very pressurized environment, because one wrong step at that point, a wizard comes in, a leaper comes in, pops the ball, and I'll run off and score. So he needs to make sure that this cage is nice and robust. Let's see what he does. Not a removal, important. The other player he must keep safe is this one, because if he doesn't keep that one safe, I will try and kill it. And with a strength 4 elf, I only need to be able to see it to be able to get at it, really, because I can hit it on a diagonal or whatever. So by following up, he's committing to piling on, because you can't leave it stood up. Has he mispositioned his tackle? He has only got 1, I think, actually, hasn't he? Yeah, he has only got the 1 tackle, it's that one there. I'm not sure about mispositioned, but he is struggling with it. This one has to go here. And he's choosing to foul anyway. I think, looking at this, I think Hood made a... mistake's the wrong word. I think he made I think he was probably a little frustrated that he didn't... bring on the dirty player. So now here we have 2 choices. I can't get this because it's on the floor. We can either A, blitz this down preferably with a Mighty Blow Elf, and then try and get some players into here. Or I could try and take this guy out and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and put a diving tackle on the ball carrier. And so that's what I was going to do, but when I'm rolling the 1, it's not really a good idea to sort of commit my best Witch Elf in turn 1. So I actually changed tack here. And I don't think I blitz that down. And what I'm doing now is trying to... Oh, I do blitz it down. I just don't do what I thought I was going to do. Yeah, we get pushes. Because I want to base the ball carrier here, because that dictates that blitz has then got to go in the wrong direction. So I'm blitzing for position rather than blitzing for using a Mighty Blow piling on player. It doesn't get the knockdown there, which is a surprise. Yeah, gun and 2-3, it was nice, wasn't it? First action, roll. Now he's left this guy stood up. And he also needs to put a guard here. Because if you don't put a guard in this square, then this guy needs to come back a square, and the guard needs to go there, because at the moment you've got to leap in on 1 dice. We're also starting to lose players, so this is actually a very interesting. This is a very interesting turn. I'm going to pause it now. He does press end turn, and this is one of those turns where I'm going to turn to the chat and say, chat, what would you do? Because there are probably, as I look at it, 3 different scenarios that I could come up with here, which have all got some value. So what do you guys think? Let's bring up this. And that. Okay. Just 1 second. Sorry, everyone. Okay, so sorry about that, everyone. I'm back. So I need that board there so I can see when I'm drawing. So we've got don't know what I've just done to paint, but it's just gone horribly wrong. Let's just open it again. There we go. Right, so the options you've got here are this guy clears this guy out of the way, and that's 1, which gives me this player back. And you could take this guy and bring him in here, and then this could be the blitz, and you come in here, and you just stand the diving tackle in this square here, which bases the ball carrier. That's alright. That's an option, because it forces the blitz here, next turn, to be coming along here to deal with that same play. So he's going to make very little forward progress. So that's your first option. The second option you've got would be the greedy play, which would be take this guy here and then just blitz this guy, which if you take him out with Mighty Blow, then that really does change the way that you play the game. Because you take out a lot of his threat removal. So that's the next option, and that's also valid, absolutely valid. Or there is the third option, which is that you take this guy and bring him round and put him in this square here. You then take this guy and put him in this square here, and you take who else would you take? Probably take this guy. No, in fact you don't need to do that. I'll just take that last move back. And then you take the Witch Elf. Where is she? Take the Witch Elf and leap in and blitz from there for 1 dice into 1 dice. Because you can't cancel his guard out, but now you've got your own guard in there. And 1 dice into 1 dice. Ball then scatters from this square it might land in this square, and then this guy runs over here and can throw to this guy who ends up over here, and the ball ends up over there, if it all went right. So that's probably for me the right play, but it's knowing when you should go in and leap versus when you shouldn't. So that's how I think I would play the turn out. I can't actually remember what I do or not. So let's have a quick look. Let's see what happens. So turn 2. Okay. So chose there to take the slightly greedier option, which is take the block. And it's sacrificing using the agility 5. Sacrifice that agility 5 as well. She leaps in. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's alright, isn't it? Yeah, so you get 1 into 1. And I was looking for a stumbles, a pow, or a wrestle on that. So actually, 1 into 1 is about 75%. Because that would have been completely fine 75% of the time. And now really Chubstep is the man that's got to go in and fetch the ball. So so that happened. And then you make a couple of extra dirty moves there at the end. And then I think, well, fuck it, it's strength 4, you may as well throw that block. So, now, I think he's then in a bit of a problem here in terms of how the hell to get back out of it again. Because he's got to hit this with this guy, really. If he wants to get anything on this, he's got to hit it with this guy. Or, he's got to use the wizard. And I don't think you can really viably get this guy around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, you can't get him around. Those Flessetti elves, they're alright, aren't they? But if you actually look in terms of the percentage play of what that was to do that, it was a 2+ leap, works most of the time, and then it was a 4, 5 or a 6, or a 4, 5 or a 6, don't roll a 1, or it's because it's a critical fail, and if they don't work, have a re-roll at it of 4, 5 or a 6. So it wasn't quite as bullshit as you'd think it would be. It was still lucky, but it wasn't insane lucky. What was lucky on that was the ball carrier getting casualty. That was very lucky. The ball recovery was alright. It was a couple of 3s and 4s, I think. Sorry, 3s. So now as the Dark Elf coach, I'm looking to try and just sort of waste time, run up the field and see what we can do. At the same time, now can I leverage my Mighty Blow element into him as much as possible. So run away. And you can diving tackle that. That's on a 5. And then the agility elf just runs off again. And that agility elf just runs straight through it. May as well take that 2 dice block and then try and bring the guard round, because you might be able to score with the guard. Hello Taylor there. Absolutely. So, right, how do you get out of this if you're if you're Hood? I think actually this is one of those turns where you don't get out of it this turn, but you might get out of it next turn. And what you need to do then is blitz for position, probably, rather than just flat up blitz for damage. If there's a positional blitz on, if there isn't a positional blitz on, then you just go straight up for damage. So you need to get and put some pressure on here, because otherwise what's going to happen next turn is that the elf is going to go and stand there with a little line of elves in the way, followed by a secondary screen of elves, because that's what I'm trying to do. Look, you can almost see it now. What I've done is I've gone, there's a screen, and there is a second screen, and there is your most dangerous player. So that player needs to be through the primary screen. So that makes one of these two the primary blitz, because this isn't good enough. Because if you take this guy out, then all I do is I just alter the shape of the screen, which is these three become the primary screen and these two become the secondary screen. And if you're really showy-offy, you'd probably put this into the primary and then make these three the secondary. I hope we all understand about what I mean about primary and secondary screening there. So what you need to do as the Chaos Coach is stop me doing that and putting players in the way that I can't build a double-layered screen. So he just needs to run players just in that general direction. Okay. Almost KO'd. He's done his job. Hello, Aussie Viking. So I think you might then be able to change this around again if you're the Elf Coach. I think I actually don't do what I'm looking at right now. Oh, that's unlucky. And that was a turnover, wasn't it? Yep. When you get to press pause, I'll let that guy run forward. So this guy can just run forward because that's just bringing him into play. Now pause. Now bear in mind our opponent's got a wizard. There are two places you can play here. You can either take this guy and just try and do what I was going to initially do, which is stand him in the corner, put a screen around him, put a secondary screen around him, which is possible, especially when that wants to be your blitz. So this guy or this guy could become the primary screen, sorry, part of the secondary screen, or you could try and bring the ball over here, almost forego this guy and give up with him, and bring him over here. Thinking about it some more, I think I would like to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 5 actually go there. There, no, yeah, there. He's got to go there for the blitz. So he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's assume the ball carries over here for a second. Then you can have the wrestle guy can come around to here. The diving tackle can go there, and then you can put the witch elf and this player in here, with the ball carrier in here. So you've got a primary and a secondary screen. So a wizard can only punch through one of the two lines of defense, and you can drag it out for another turn. You could then also try and bring this up, this guy up a bit more, so she's a scoring threat for next turn. So let's see how I play this out. So I think the answer is wrong. Yeah, it turns out I'm wrong here. That should have been based there to not give him free rein to run around, because I may as well base him. Oh, okay. Oh god, this is dangerous. So we've gone for meh, whatever. You've got a wizard, don't matter. Oh god. And I've gone for maximum greed, which is maximum damage output. And completely ignored the fact that he's got a wizard, which is insane, because you could go lightning bolt, blitz that one, pick the ball up, and try and have off with it. Don't like that play. So Pyleon player knocks over the diamond tackle. Went to maximum Devo. Yeah, absolutely. Devo dialed up to 11. Give him 2 dice on the ball, and in fact he had 4 dice on the ball. Doesn't take me down there. So 33% play with a reroll is about 48% of the time. So it was literally a coin flip, and he's a little unlucky to not get that there. What he has done is been an annoying little so-and-so. Not left basically anything on whatsoever. So this is me being greedy again, Trying to hit the most dangerous players, trying to take them out. I did indeed steal Drake. It could be said that the ball recovery options at that point weren't great. And there we go. Walk it in. It wasn't great. The only thing in my defence was that his ball recovery, so the second step in the process was not great, and you probably weren't making it safe. So you can trade it off against in that way, but it probably wasn't wise. We get one of the 3 knockouts back. He gets his knockout back. And we're down to 9. So we need to try and defend with 9 players. Possible. And defence there is, if I can bring the tackle on its own over here, maybe it's not stood with a load of friends, and we can try and deal with it again. And I'll leave these 2 to be hit. That's the kickoff. Oops. Thanks, more playback. So we get a free reroll, so I've got a reroll for every single turn. And that's quite a good kickoff for us, as it's gone relatively deep. Andre knocked out. And he's now made that 3 dice, which is nice. But what he has done is he's left this guy a blitzable again. Potentially. That's the loner gone. Absolutely not getting apothecaried. I'd like to see a dive, yeah, sidestep there to make him come forward. That's not a bad clearance, is it? He's just casualtied 1 and KO'd 2. That's a pretty good opening round. He needs to put that guard in there, really. So he's protecting the most dangerous player. Ariana, thank you very much.
No problem.
Absolutely. So there we have it. He would foul something, but unfortunately he removed everything he hit pretty much this turn. So no problem. So looking at this now, I think I'm playing for a what's the way of describing it? Playing for 1-1 at the half probably, because he's removed 5 players. So we're down to 6 elves, which is going to be a problem. So I'm hedging my bets here. Can we punch that out of the way, and then can I run through? Armor break's helpful, and then it's double. That's 2+2+. He rolls a double 1, and then what we could have done, we'll leave the witch elf back, bring this guy across, and then you've got 2 players threatening the ball. With just enough ball safety to be okay for the following turn. But unfortunately he fell over. He fell over right near the dirty player. So let's see what happens now, because I think this is a turn where if you were HUD, you would do this turn differently. Why are you and HUD always playing each other? This is a replay of what actually happened a couple of weeks ago. Has anyone spotted the problem yet? Yeah. Has anyone spotted the problem yet? Pause. There we go. Right, so it's the start of my turn. And someone in the chat has already said it. I'm True Blue said, let's go surfing. Yes, absolutely. So now it's 2 dice up. We can go 2+, 2+, 2+, leap. And he's strength 3, 4, 5, 6. So it doesn't. I don't need to cancel any assists out. Don't need to move anyone. Don't need to do anything. And and we can go, all I need now are pushes. So a both down result, both down push is great for me. I just need to literally avoid a skull. So 33% of the time it's a failure, the rest of the time it's fine, and worst case scenario that ball is going to go somewhere on the field. And let's look quickly, because you can't see it because the replay's paused. If the ball comes over here, well, I overload that Beastman so I can clear it. The Witch Elf could jump up and hand it over here and run off. If the ball goes over here, he's done, because that's an Agility 5 line elf. Sorry, Blitzer. And if the ball comes straight across the field, then Chubstep can probably get to it and throw it, and it's done. And we're probably looking at 2-0 if I avoid the roller 1, the roller leap, and everything. Yeah, and then make sure we actually make a push result. So we go for that. We go for the leap. Here comes 2 dice uphill, and we roll an 11%. So that's a bit naughty. Ball goes off. Ball goes long. And then I make a 3+, so she doesn't get surfed. But then we don't get the knockdown there, so that's interesting. And then you've got a choice to make here. You can either take the elf and try and throw it over here, or, and I think this is the correct play, put yourself 2 scoring threats in over here, so that you've still got a chance of scoring next turn. Because if you only have 1 in, he'll lightning bolt it, you can't score, and then you've got a problem. So you must go and put 2 scoring threats in, which you can kind of see I'm doing already. Zombane said no. Oh no, Zombane. We'll just stop the replay analysis just for a second. If you refresh the stream, I think it will come. It will come up. I got lucky there, and we made the throw. But if you didn't get one, thank you very much for subbing. And then she just runs away so she didn't get punched. And that makes it 2-0 at the half. Because he can't get this one. He doesn't choose the lightning bolt, because otherwise he would have done at the start of the half. And we're going into the half having stole the ball twice. And being up 2-0. So I think we're going to see a foul now, because he's still got his foul. He's still got his bribe to use. He's probably. I would come over here and foul the Witch Elf, because that Witch Elf has stolen the ball off him twice. Surprised you didn't stand in there. There we go.
I don't know what I should write here. Mr. REBBL is confused.
Zombie, thank you very much. Uh-oh. 10-10 on the injury and armour. Ever is injured and won't be playing further part in this game. Unfortunately, the damage is done. Can we injure that one? Yes, we can. Oh wow, I didn't actually remember that. So we've just traded basically probably the 2 best players on. Yeah, his best player, my best player, removed. So right, so we're 2-0 up at the half. He's still got a wizard in hand. We are 2 or 3 players down, and you need to make a tactical assessment of the situation now. So how many KOs do we get back? Half. That's fair. And we need to have a quick look at the 2 teams. So Hood is still at 11, as you can see here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The correct thing for me to do really here is take those 7 players, go and score, and be 3-0 up as quickly as possible, because that 3-0 is then basically unassailable. The only thing you might choose to do is have 2 players in the backfield throwing the ball to one another. The problem with that, however, is that means that you've only got 5 players on up here, and 5 players versus 11 players is very quickly going to get swamped, even though they're agility 5. And at that point, he then takes the ball off you and scores, and steal scores, and it's a question of how quickly you can do it. And at 2-1, you then would have struggled, because it'd be 2-1 receiving, and and that would be a big problem. So I'd like to see the Dark Elves go and score quickly here. Oh, that's a horrible kick. That's an absolutely horrible kick. Yeah, I'd like to see the Dark Elves go score quickly here. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 Elves versus 10 now. Now, that means I can't run through the gap really, because it's a couple of 2s. So yeah, I choose to send Chubstep over there. And then we can go and throw the ball to the guard elf who can stand over here. And, uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is a little bit greedy. Maximum greed set to 11. So we still make the throw, still make the catch. And what I've done there is I've split the agility 5 elves up. So we've got an ability to go and take the ball and push it in any direction. And maybe we're going to be okay. Because that needs 2 players to mark it to make it a 3+. So does that, and so does that. And if you notice, they're not stood close enough to one another to be double marked. That requires 4 players. So he's indeed double marking this one. Not this one, so far. Oh, that's clever. Foul from the square. So he is double marking. Foul up is now knocked out. But the bribe fails. So it's now not as clever. It was a very clever move, he just didn't get the right dice. So it's right move, wrong dice. And all we need to do now is hand the ball off to this blitzer, blitz through this guy and run off. The problem is he does still have a wizard, we have to respect that. Right, blitz, donk. Oh no! Oh, okay, so I was going to go in a slightly different route, which is 2+, 2+, 2+, hand off and run away. Okay. Gets the power straight away. Still got the wizard in hand now, so we are in a lot of trouble because he's still got the wizard and he's very likely to score here. So doing all the right things, trying to crowd the ball. Does still have his agility 4 sure hand, so that's only a 3+ pickup with a reroll, following a 2+ dodge away. So that's absolutely, completely viable. Oh my god, look at that. That's horrible. HUD not having the greatest dice there. So let's just pause this for a second. This was one of the turns that I looked at and thought, is there a better play than the one I actually come up with? So again, chat. Oh dear, Chugman, I'll have a quick look at that in a sec. Is there a better play here than the one I come up with? So, what would you guys do? How would you get out of this? Things that I'm looking at here. This is an agility 5 elf on the floor, so that's a 2+ dodge out. That's a 4+ dodge in, a 3+, a 2+, and out. That's no good. That immediately I count that out. I look at this T-shape that we've got here, this nice little T-shape, or this little box here. Maybe we can do something with the box. What about blitzing on the diagonal? Look, no, that doesn't work. What about cancelling these assists out and blocking and pushing this guy across? No, that doesn't work either. What about 2+, 2+, 2+, 2+, don't get an interception? Can we move this guy out of the way? Not really. So I think unless we can do something with this guy, which maybe is possible because we could then bring this guy over and blitz from here, that would be possible. The problem is, if you don't get the knockdown, you put him in this square or this square and you make that pick up a 3, not a 2. So I think you've got to leave him alone. So I think you've just got to go with some heroics with the second best player you've got today, which is Chubstep. Casually as you like. Sergeant IT, of course, used to be a Black Orc in a previous life, so he's not used to all these elf shenanigans. Yeah, seemed alright, didn't it? I think that was pretty much... I can't really see a better play than that. Didorino said, blitz with a strength 4 guy, stand up the edge 5 guy and run him around, throw it to lineman. Yeah. Well, so we came up with the same play then, Didorino. Hello, Priest, by the way. Are there any other players? Yeah, I've got some knocked out ones. And he's also had 2 players injured and a player sent off. So this should really be 2-0. And at 2-0, sorry, this should now be 3-0. And at 3-0, this really should be game done. And all he's doing now is just, we're having a little bit of a faff. And I should just walk it in, really. Maybe through a block. And it's score. That's a mighty blow hit. May as well. I've got the re-roll. Score. 3-0. That really should be game over. So let's see what happens. KOs, we get 1 of 3. Yeah, okay. He just gets 0 of 1, so both of us not very great on the KO rolls there. We can look around the pitch now, and there aren't really any dangerous Beastmen left on the field. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 for him, 7 for us. Chubstep Blitzer is probably the best player on the field now, by some distance. And I'm actually looking at this right now and thinking, I wonder if we can get a 4th. And with that sort of kick and a perfect defence, it absolutely is a thing that I'd be looking at this thinking maybe we can put enough pressure on this to have off with the ball and steal and score. So that's why he gets moved up in a more aggressive posture. I think I'd like to have seen him there. Okay, so we got 2 dice there, we got 2 dice there. That was important that square was filled in, because it meant that I couldn't sidestep through his line. Chubstep, thank you very much. I hope your game went well. Chubstep, for you YouTube viewers, is someone who is also in the same division. So the result that you will see him when he comes and talks to us, he'll tell us how he got on in his final game. Mike, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Elgin's an eater of cold soup. Ugh. Right. Pause. We've got a turnover situation. We've got an agility 5 elf. This really should be 4-0 then. Really should be 4-0. All we need to do now is take the agility 5 elf, blitz on the diagonal, follow up, 2, 2, 2, run away. In fact, actually, it's 2, 2, 2. One stand in the way there, and then let this agility 5 elf, who I don't mind as much getting lightning bolted, because it's not Chubstep, Chubstep's quite important, run off and pick the ball up, but end up over here, so that if this guy, who's the agility 5, agility 4 sure hands, is
code 12 Norseman, but the one babe he greeted for let them all come back.
Oh no, that sucks. So if a wizard happens, the ball needs to be on the sort of the symbol spot over here rather than over here, because it's further for the guy to get to. So let's see how we actually play this through. So straight away, do the blitz, and you'll see this followed up and then diagonally run through. Not picking up the ball, I hope. Good, well done me. This is where the ball should be picked up and run off with. And indeed we stay away, so maximum distance for trying to stay away from this guy. And then needs to tag this guy out, so the strength 4 can actually go and stand here and make this difficult dodges for him. And then the most important dodge of all, which is this one, this guy needs to dodge through on a 3 to complete the screen. And he would have stood in that square there, look. And if he'd have stood in that square there, the screen was complete, and everything would have been fine. What we probably could have done differently is made a singular go for it there earlier in the screen creation, which would have meant that people can't wander through. So that was probably a little bit of a, not misplay's a bit harsh, but probably not the greatest thing. However, you were always going to see the wizard at this point. Does then mean that you'd have had an intercept chance on that throw. On a 4+, that would have been an intercept. So this is going to be 2-1 because I can't stop him. He's too far away now. And this is a question of whether Hood wants to now hang out for 3-1, or whether he wants to push on and then go for 3-2 or 4-1. So good screen from Hood. Always go there. And I really, as a point of strategy, at 3-0, all my players should be going in that direction, because there's no point chasing this down, because if I chase this down and it goes wrong and someone dies, I'm going to look rather foolish. Oh, Chubb's up unlucky. In some ways, isn't that better than if you'd have won 5-0? Pike, how was the tabletop? While we're letting this just play through, and I apologise for if you're just watching this on YouTube and I've suddenly stopped doing a replay analysis, I played Wood Elves at the tabletop tournament this weekend, and while we didn't win it, unfortunately, I did finish with a record of 4 wins and 2 losses, but I did score the most touchdowns out of the whole thing. So that was alright, wasn't it? So far this year we've caused most casualties at a tournament, we've scored most touchdowns at a tournament, and we've won a tournament. I'm quite pleased with that. Oh, he's going for the cheeky handoff level. So nice, right, so it's 3-1. Now 3-1's fine, because if you look at this, we've got 2 turns left. 4-1 would be quite nice. One of the Witch Elves is back, and his KO comes back as well. And 4-1 would be quite a nice end to the game. And 4-1, if you level up foe help, or sorry, get 3 points on foe help, that puts it in range of MVP, and that'd be quite nice. Or you'd put some points on Sarge. Deathball could probably do some more points, but this really is looking very 4-1-esque. We should be a 4-1 here. Chubstep, it's not my birthday. Oh, blitz. Disappointing. Oh, physics, thank you very much. It's cheered 50 bits. Thank you very much. It's not my birthday. Oh, it's 1 year sub. Oh, congratulations. Nice. That is awesome. Did you just sub then? Did you also not get the notification? Well, thank you very much. I don't know what's going on with the notifications these days. Just can't get the staff. So, right, how do you get out of this? The first thing you should do in this situation, the absolute first thing you should do, is take this elf and go and put him in scoring range. Now the default thing to do is just run him forward 6 squares, because that's just that way. However, what you want to also consider, I can't go to the turn marker, is that you need to screen that elf off to some degree. So is there better or is diagonally better? Probably in this scenario, straightforward is better, because you can probably screen it off with only 2 elves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you can screen off by going there, and that's relatively safe, because the guard elf then closes the door at the end. So that's important. Or you could just do this, completely not what I suggest at all. That's the thing. At least this is a 2+ pickup, and this is a 2+ throw into a 2+ catch. Lovely. Does put the ball, I suppose, on the correct elf, and puts him nicely in scoring range. And a double 1 happens to me. Lovely. So it would have been 4-1 except for a double 1, because the last 2 elves just need to make a dodge here. So this guy ends up over here, this guy ends up there, and it's 2-1. Sorry, it's 4-1. Oh well. Huh. No worries, Lightman. Take it easy, sir. Making absolutely sure of this. 3 dice needing a pow. The right thing there. If you can always, yeah, there's been a fair few True Blue. If you can, you should always try and make the blocks 3 dice. And he's got his strength 5 on a blitz, so he only needs 2 assists. So it was absolutely the right thing to do. And then look at that, Hood just reversing on me there and making it 3. So it's 3-2. This can't possibly be 3-3, right? This can't possibly be 3-3. From 3-0 up, it's now 3-2, and Hood's got 2 turns left. This isn't going to be 3-3, is it? We get our last knocked out elf back. So now, if you're Hood, you've only actually got 1 turn left. The only ways plural, there are 2 ways that you win this game. Sorry, draw this game, and they are a blitz and a riot. So a blitz lets you move any player that's not currently in a tackle zone at the start of your turn, and a riot obviously just pushes the clock back, but lets me act first. So take those 2 things in series. So the first thing you need to do is you need to have all your players 1 square off the line, because I can base all of these players with virtually no effort whatsoever. You know, 1 guy here to base these 3, 1 guy just here to base these 3, and then 1 guy in this square here to base these 2, and then a blitz result means that he's got 1 guy he can move forward. So the counter response to that would be take the rest of my elves, knock that one over, game over. The only other way then is the riot result, and the riot result is you still base these guys. He gets 2 turns, I get 2 turns. Sorry, I get 1 turn, and we just run backwards. So the riot result would probably be the result that he needs here, because of the way he's set up. These 3 and a couple of these should really just be slightly off the line of scrimmage. So, and in fact, as you can see there, what I've done is I've based players up. I've based them up in such a way that I can generate a couple of hits if this isn't a blitz, and it's not. So there we have it. On knockdown, maybe into a knockdown. Oh. Follow that up with the strength 4 elf, can then blitz that off. base him, so he's got to blitz something with Blodge. And then it's just a case of throwing the ball, really. So, Robbo, can you throw the ball? Yes, you can. Take the elf and just run him away so he doesn't get hit, because there's no point getting him hit. Don't like leaving Chubstep out there, that's just a little bit crazy. Yeah. There we go. And that's it really, that's the game. He can blitz something. I don't like leaving Chubstep there for a blitz with 2 dice, into 2 more dice, into 2 more dice, into a reroll. So there was 8 dice available on Chubstep if he wanted to, but it wouldn't have been with his most dangerous player. Nothing happened. And there we go. Megatron update. Megatron is asleep right now. There we have it. So there we have it. I think overall in that game, HUD probably would have done a couple of things slightly differently. Both my cage dives were precipitated by things that he did. And yes, the dice results came up for what I needed. But they probably were not avoidable, but they could have been reduced. I was also lucky that HUD's dice didn't really go to town. His Claw Mighty Blow piling on player didn't really do a lot overall, and so we could have suffered more removals. I mean, let's just have a quick look. So he threw 39 blocks, we threw 31. Overall, he broke armor 16 times and got 7 removals, so he's way behind the curve on that. And we broke armor 9 times and got 4. So injuries were slightly up, KOs were slightly down. They should be inverted really. What we did manage is 5 passes. That's nice, and 3 touchdowns. So that's a good star player point haul there. But I think probably slightly better dice us. Chat, what do you think? Do you think we had good dice, or do you think we had? Or do you think HUD was hard done by? While chat come back and give you their answer, just want to say thank you very much. If you enjoyed the video, please do like and subscribe. The likes are really important, actually, almost more than the them subscribes actually. As the likes then let other people find this. So if you think the content's great, please do leave a like, because it pushes you up on the YouTube priority list. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully see you in the next video. Cheers.